What's happening, guys? We're getting ready to do a quick little video editing session. Just gonna kind of take you through and kind of show you how I start my edits off. A lot of times people say, hey Matt, how do you get those edits like that? And they want to know kind of the process. So I decided I was going to sit here and go through live. That way it'll live forever. You'll be able to see my process. If you're into the short videos, this is not one of those videos because I'm not going to show up with the process. I believe that in a lot of things, especially for those of us who are self-taught, there's a lot of gray area that ends up getting missed out on. So we're going to try to correct that right now. We're not going to leave anything out. If you've got a question, then go ahead and put that information in, and I'll try to pay attention to the chat as well as while I'm working on this. So that way, I can be able to answer your question. We're going to be editing with DaVinci Resolve Studio. Now, I'm going to tell you, you can get the free version, and the free version will do about 90% of what the studio version is, which is the paid for version. But I mean, in my opinion, well, I'll take that back. There's a lot of different things that as an advanced editor that you will need in the studio version that you just don't really need if you're beginning right now. All the things like masking and a lot of the different transitions, whether they be built or custom, including a lot of the visual effects that you can do, they are included in the free version. So, hey, if you want to get an upgrade from TikTok, Instagram, CapCut, a lot of those programs, if you go ahead and start putting in the work to get this software now, it'll pay its dividends over time a little bit later. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and open up this DaVinci Resolve real quick. Now, this is not going to be a video where I'm going to show you all of the features and locations of DaVinci Resolve. Here's the scenario. I've got a video that I'm getting ready to do, and in that video it's going to be a video where I'm talking to other beginning filmmakers and showing them a lot of the essential gear that's needed to get started. More so before camera, more so before expensive lights. I'm talking about a lot of those things that really become unmentionables when it comes to getting into this game, because you can get inundated with a lot of, hey, get this camera, get that camera, get this light, get this light. You can't do anything unless you have this. Well, after my time from being in the game, I'm going to show you and tell you those things that are extremely essential. Things that if you get even before you go out and get even a prosumer camera, that coupled with just your cell phone, you can have some extremely high quality content. So we're going to get in there right now. Okay, now, there we go. See, I had to give me a second screen over here just so I could cheat a little bit because, like I say, I'm kind of a rookie when it comes to the live. But we're going to get there. I think I know enough people who actually know what's going on to really, get it right. So that's what we're going to do. I've got my DaVinci open, but I'm not seeing it on my screen. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. There we go. Oh, okay. There go my boy Feach. I see you in that Feach. Okay. So first things first, this is the DaVinci Resolve software, and I'm gonna go ahead and delete this out, and I'm gonna turn on all these things that come on by default, because what I want to happen is when you open up your program and you start working, I don't want to do anything that it's going to cause you to be confused because your screen doesn't look exactly like mine. So while you're watching this, if you've got any questions, type the questions in. I'm about to give my little assistant over here to kind of help to monitor, but I don't want to yell a name and be ghetto all on the voice. So over here, I have already gone and done this, and it's a real simple process. But once you actually open up the DaVinci Resolve software, on the bottom, there's a tab that says Edit. You can go into your Edit page. It's right down here on the bottom. Let me see if you can actually see that. But now you can't see that on the live. But anyway, down the bottom is just an Edit tab. When you go in the Edit tab, you'll see this master over here. Now, all I'm doing over here, the very first thing I always do whenever I get ready to start up a project, well, I used to do whenever I started up a project, I kind of got smart on them and just started using the same project structure, more of like a template, so I don't have to type these individual ones in every day for specific kinds of projects. You'll learn that your film trailers, your highlight reels, your promo reels, your quick content, your quick shot content, all those things are going to have very, very similar folders each and every time as far as how you organize your information. So organization is huge when it comes to video editing. Because if you just take everything you got, throw it in one bowl, it's not going to be the best cereal that you got. So the first thing I always do is I'll come over here and I'll create a folder called footage. Then I'll drag my footage in here. But, you know, for this, there's only one clip. It's like a 40-minute long clip. Just shot in one take, and that's it. It's an instructional video. It's a how-to video. So we'll have some more footage that we'll be adding in, but we haven't shot it, and that'll be my B-roll footage. So the way that I would organize this folder is I would come in, create a folder that says footage, and that'll be my main footage. If I've got one camera, I'll create a folder in here. I just did a right click, went down to new bin, and then I'm going to say A-cam. Now, if I had a second camera, then I would come in and create another folder and call it B-cam. And then if I had already shot my B-roll footage, I would come over here and I would call this folder B-roll. Now, you can have as many folders as you want. However you feel like would be the most efficient way for you to be able to organize your footage, you can use that way. All right, so now we've got those folders. I don't really have all of that, but I'm gonna leave it in here. But I will take my clip and I'm gonna drag it into the A-cam folder. So now when I click on the A-cam folder, only the footage that I've shot with my A-camera will be in there. You can get as, you know, as detailed as you want, even in how you actually name your files. And I have already named this file, but like I said, to keep it simple, I only have this one file. Now, audio. Come in here and we'll delete those. We're gonna delete those. We got footage. We'll come back to audio. We've got sound effects, got graphic effects. Sound effects are things that you use for like your sound design. Okay, so your sound effects is what you would use for your sound design. You know, any sound effects, any foliage, my bad, not foliage, any foley, any hits, bass, whooshes, drones, ambient sounds, any, you know, environmental sounds, those kinds of things that you would use to really kind of improve the overall environment of your sound and your audio to keep your viewers engaged. That would be the things that go inside of your sound effects, because a lot of what you hear and what's recorded, you don't want to use that audio because it just wouldn't be the cleanest unless you just shot clean audio. But for the purpose of this, we're gonna keep it real simple. Okay, this is just my folder, my basic folder organization that I'm showing you, and I just went in and created really quickly. GFX, it'll be graphic effects, it'll be any titles you want to add or any textual information, or it could be overlays or anything graphic related that you would actually want to be able to show in your footage that's not moving or animated. So references, a lot of times before I start a project, I may sit down for a little while and watch a few different things so I can kind of get an idea of how I want my video to go. And then I may put those in a folder, just call them references. A lot of times just inspiration, things that kind of get you hype about starting to shoot. Anytime you can have multiple timelines, you can stack your timelines, but every time I create a timeline, I'll always drop it inside of a timeline folder. And that's what you see over here. We got references, now we've got timelines. VFX, for those of you that are mainly used to using like Adobe Premiere, they have After Effects. In DaVinci, we use Fusion. You can create Fusion compositions, and when you create Fusion compositions, you can drag those in here to be able to do some of those different visual effects. And once you do those visual effects, I like to keep them in this folder just to kind of keep them organized from one to the next. So the thing is, anybody can do this if you have any kind of content. That's whether you're a solo artist, whether you are a videographer, whether you're a filmmaker, whether you are a singer, whether you do poetry. If you have a way that you collect your footage, you can begin to have high quality professional visuals just by using this software. And it's free, like forever. They're not going to get it taken up by China. You don't have to worry about, once I do this, is it going to go away because somebody else owns it? No, this could be yours. And the footage you can use, you don't have to have a professional camera. You can use whatever footage you have. If you've got a cell phone and you're recording yourself, you can take that same footage, drop it in here, and then just with some practice. It just takes reps. It's just one of those things. There's no easy way to say that. So I'm just going to be as direct as possible. All you have to do is take your footage, insert inside this software, and then everything else that you need to add your music, to add your cuts, to do your color grading, to do your visual effects, to add your own titles. All those things are right here. And it looks like a lot, but for me, I can do it like a breeze. So that's just because I've been doing it for so long. I'm gonna tell you, look, we got some guests. Now, again, like I said, I'm a rookie. I got to get my little assistant in here to help me out, but I'm gonna come over here and put up a strong arm and appreciate everybody for chiming in. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Let me take this off since this wasn't my first try at this. The last time the audio was jacked up, the music was louder than my voice. So look, if y'all have some issues with the audio, please make sure that you say something in the chat, and I'll kind of double back and look and see if everything is going the way I'm hoping that it's going. I'm not going to be forever, but what I want you to do is have a resource where you can be able to come back and you can look and see how to go from 0 to 25. Because we got to go over to 100. That's when you put that thing out there for the public. But going from 0 to 25, I can at least help you get there. So, matter of fact, let me see real quick if I can get my little assistant to come over here and watch the chat. Now, if I get my assistant to come in here, because I know that, I know she's got a whole lot going on right now. If I get her to come in here and do this, y'all gonna have to say what's up to her in the chat. Be right back.
Every time that I smile, that a frown is coming. It's hard to be content when every time it feels good. Right before the shit comes. Is it the income or is it the attention or lack thereof? Yeah. Tell me what it is so I can fix it. Don't you get it? It's us. Ooh, but trust is so important, baby. And I can't make a move without it. So maybe that's why me and you ain't we're nowhere. Every time I think I'm winning, I lose. Every time I think I'm winning, I lose. Every time I think I'm winning, I lose. Damn, what is it to do?
right. All right. We back. We back. And guess what? My little assistant came through and she's going to be watching the boards for us just to make sure that we don't miss anybody. So look, if you're still here with me, chime in, send her a big what's up, and she going to respond for me on my behalf because she know what I'm thinking already, especially if you ask her. So here we go. We getting ready to get this edit started. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and look at my footage. I'm going to come over and look at my footage. You got to respond.
Oh, hi.
No, not with your voice, little girl. Text. That's why you're in school. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulty with my assistant. So, very first thing we're gonna do is this. We're gonna take this right here. We're gonna drag this in, and this right here is how we bring our footage in. All you have to do is take the clip that you took off of whatever device that you use, you bring it down to your timeline, and then once you bring it down to your timeline, you'll be able to see the video file, which is on top, and then you'll also be able to see the audio track that's aligned with it. Now, once you've done that, see, for me, I'm a big music person. You know, music a lot of times is what drives me before I start to edit. Music is kind of how I get in that vibe, how I get in that mode of creativity. And so if it doesn't hit me, if it doesn't inspire me, it makes for a very, very long day. Now, and I'm gonna have this in the I'm gonna have a link in the description for a track. I mean, not for a track, for the platform that I use to actually grab my sound. Let me throw my headphones on. I use Epidemic Sound. Okay, so when I'm going to get my music, I pretty much use Epidemic Sound to grab stuff, unless I have one of my creative artist friends who are Epidemic Sound, who have tracks and they don't mind me using their track. But for the purpose of this video and for what it is that I'm wanting to do, I'm just going to drag in a file that I already have. But you can go to epidemicsound.com, and I mean, for $100 a year, you know, you can get unlimited downloads with any genre for any kind of music or any kind of sound effect that you need to basically craft up your video. If you have a creative project, you know, let's say, you know, you're an artist and you're getting ready to bring something in, and you have some other things that really aren't related to your music, but you want to kind of bide some time by, you can have some copyright free music that you can use. I mean, it's pretty good. And for a lot of my independent artists, hey, that's kind of what they do. That might be another avenue for you, which would be to put some of your stuff on Epidemic Sound. I know that's a pay for a deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up just kind of something without spending too much time on it. Like I said, this is a video that I'm actually going to be doing to help other self-taught filmmakers, people kind of in the game. So I'm not going to make it too long, but I just want to show you this process so that way you'll be able to see exactly what it is that I'm doing. Let's see here real quick. Okay, you know what? I just found one right here. All right, let me see if I can grab another one real quick, just so I can kind of show you the options. Okay, here's another one. I'm kind of familiar with some of these, and I wish I could show you like all of them, but okay. That's 3 real quick ones right here. Like I said, I grabbed all of these from Epidemic Sound. These are 3 different tracks. Now, normally for me, part of my process is when I'm bringing in music tracks, I need to have all the stems for the tracks, not just the full audio. Number one, the full audio, it may be so clouded with information and details and data that I can't really catch the beat unless I just listen to it, which I'm going to do anyway. But you know, whenever you can see that pop in the actual meter on the track, it just helps you to be able to align your footage a lot more. So now the purpose of what I'm getting ready to do next is I'm always going to listen to the track and I'm going to mark off the beats. Well, why am I going to mark off the beats? Well, I'm going to mark off the beats because whenever I make cuts, I want to get those cuts either directly on that beat or as close to it as possible. Because sometimes you might need to skip over that one beat just so you can be able to make sure your audio and your video together, they really jive. So let's see here real quick. I'm going to just kind of load up. Let's see what I got. What we do is we audition tracks. You know, you want to audition your track to kind of see what the vibe is going to be for the video, and then that's how you make your selection. So let's do this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and drag off. I'm gonna drag this one in. Like I said, this video is well, the video that's recorded is 40 minutes long. That song is probably 3 minutes long. Now, for all you newbies, I'm gonna say you put your Option or Alt on your keyboard, and you can use your middle mouse button to zoom in and zoom out. So that way, when you want to make that bigger, longer, so you can try to be able to get it, that's how you do that. I'm gonna drag the second one in. I'm gonna move that one over. Then I'm gonna drag this third one in, and I'm gonna move that one over. Now I'm gonna highlight these two tracks and press the D on my keyboard, so that way it'll mute out those tracks. Now I'm gonna turn the volume down on this song right here, over here in the properties, over to the top right where it says volume, as long as my audio is selected. I'm gonna turn that down some so that it doesn't overpower my my voice. And then I'm going to start playing the video just to kind of audition it. Okay, so that's cool. I mean, I'm kind of laid back cat, so I don't mind it being nice and subtle and soft. I'm good with it. All right, now we're gonna audition the second one. I'm gonna press the track. I'm gonna press D to unmute it, and I'm gonna kind of keep it going from this point. So that one is a little fast for me, so I don't really want to do that one. So I can go ahead and say I'm not going to use the second track. But let me go ahead and disable it, and then we'll go into the third one. Let's kind of see how it works out. Let me enable that track, turn it down some, and let's see. You know what? You know what, that mic can work. I mean, I can see now if I'm using all the stems, I mean, I can extend that song out. So what the stems are part of that music track that are all broken up into individual sections. Like you have your instruments, you'll have your vocals, you'll have your beats, you have your drums, you have your bass, and they're all in there. That's what makes up that full song. So if I like this song, but there's a part of the song that I don't like, I can just, when I drag them all in, I can just eliminate that particular part out. Like if I want to have an intro that only plays, say, like just some of the instruments before the beat kicks in, then I can be able to time that to where it works out. So, but for right now, what we're going to do is just to be able to make sure that you're understanding what it is that we're doing. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove those three. And I'm actually going to go with this first one. This one right here. So now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to mark off where I'm going to start basically collecting my beats for this song. This song here only it's not too long. So now we're going to go through. A lot of people don't like this part. They think it's boring, but I love it because there's nothing like building that framework and that foundation for your video. And the best way you're going to do that is by being able to get next to the beats and feeling the vibe of that music. So the way you put marks on anything inside DaVinci Resolve just using the shortcut letter, the shortcut keystroke M. So when I get to where a bass or a downbeat hits, I'm going to press the letter M on my keyboard. That's going to mark that spot on the song. So if I'm watching the actual video, if I want to make something happen or make something change, I'm not going to have it happening before I get to that M. And I'm going to try to position the song along the lines of to make adding B-roll make sense. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But anyway, let's mark off the track. Two. You know what? Before I do it, let me say something. You know, for all of our non-music aficionados, you know, one of the easiest things for me is just counting off the beats. You know, I mean, making music is pretty repetitive. You know, if that bass is hitting on every 4 count, it's probably going to do something very similar to that throughout the entire song. So a lot of times, to kind of help you to not be frantic with trying to look at the meter, just count off the beats. Once you do it a couple times, you'll find the vibe, you'll find, you know, the tempo, and you can be pretty consistent. I usually like to mark off the downbeat, and then I like to also find a snare and or a hi-hat. I like to find a snare or a hi-hat. That way I'll have multiple places where I can be able to cut on the video. Like if I want it to be a wide shot right here, but then I know something's getting ready to happen and I want to add emphasis to it, I can cut in and have a close-up shot, but I'm only going to do that on beat, if it makes sense. You know, the same thing about, like if I'm talking about a new camera and I begin to talk and the music is going, I'm not going to just randomly throw a picture of a camera up there. I'm going to be watching, and on my board, when they get ready to get to that beat, that's when I'll put that image of that camera up there so that it makes sense. So I want to say that, but we're going to go through this song, right? This is the song that I'm choosing, and we're just getting ready to mark off the beat. Usually I'll mark off one consistent beat, and then when I bring it in my timeline, I may go back through it again and mark off a second consistent beat. Another thing is you want to mark your beats off when you have actually brought your track over into the preview window. That way, if you remove that track or delete it from the video, you'll still have all of your same marked beats on there no matter what, because it'll be like on the native file to the project. So I'm gonna double click on it to make sure that it's over there. And I'm gonna type in I for initial, and I'm gonna type in M to mark it right there. And I'm gonna start playing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See, for us dancers, we know how to count in our head anyway. So now we good. Right on beat, like I said. This is some good background music for talking. I'm just gonna press M on the keyboard every time. See, and it's consistent. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. See. M. Press it. M. 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 Oh, let me see. Alibi, can you hear the music now when the music is going? Did you hear the music, Kinsley? Uh-oh. Okay, let me see here. We should be able to hear the music. Thank you, Alibi. Let me see if I add a source. Resolve. Okay, let's see. Try something here. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, another technical difficulty, but I think we got it now. We're almost through the end of marking this song off. So basically, like I was saying, right now it's on the 4 count. M. I'm just marking it off. M. Boom. See, if you look in that preview when you can see where it's marking M. You can still hear the music? There you go. M. So you go through this process every single time. I mean, it's like video and audio, they go hand in hand. You know, people will watch a video that has good audio with bad video quality more than they'll watch a good video that has great video and bad audio quality. I mean, it's a known fact. You know, you think about it. If you're watching something you really want to watch and it sounds like somebody's recording it inside of a tin can in a bathroom, you're going to have a problem with staying there. At that point, you're going to want to rush. It won't be pleasant. You know what I'm saying? So now that I've actually marked off that song, you can see, even if I go to another audio track, when I come over here and mark it off, it's always going to be there. So when I bring it into my timeline, it's there. Now, I'm getting ready to give you a nugget. Okay, if if you hold down the Shift and the Z button, that will zoom everything in, right? So now, and then when you hold down the Option key or the Alt key if you're on a Windows computer and use your middle wheel button, you can zoom in and out. So now watch this. Just like we just finished marking that track off, that track is only, I'm gonna move my playhead all the way to the end where the music is. So that track is only 1 minute and 56 seconds long. But we got a 40-minute video. One of the good things about going in and counting your beats on the music is that you can extend this song because now you know exactly where the beats are. So you can come in, you can begin to chop the song up, even to move different parts of the song around. You can come in here, just for example, I'm going to mute this track, and to mute a track, you can just press the M right here. That'll mute it. So now we're going to play this just for a little bit. Once it gets past the introduction part of the track, I'm going to make this a little taller. You can do Shift and use your wheel on your mouse to go in and out, or to make it shorter or taller. And then I'm gonna let that play. So I'm gonna show you something. When it gets ready to get at the top of the melody again, I'm gonna stop it. Boom, right there. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to cut this. I've created, this is going a little bit, past just beginner, but just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, I'm gonna press the letter C on my keyboard, right? Now that's going to cut that track right there in the middle. I'm gonna bring that down because I want to be able to extend this out. So let me do this. Every time I get to, I'm gonna come back here to the beginning. That's where we first started out. So I'm gonna cut from the beginning of that melody all the way to the end of that melody, and right before it gets ready to repeat again, I'm just gonna copy it. You can hold down your Option key and use your mouse to drag it, and that will allow you to duplicate that. So now I've just doubled it. I'm gonna bring this down. So I've just extended this song. So now watch this. You're gonna hear it because you're gonna have to do this over and over and over again in order to make it be the entire length of this video. We won't do that. We won't do all that right now, but I want to show you that because by the time I finish cutting this video, it's gonna end up, being 40 minutes long. So I'm gonna have to do this quite a bit. So I want to show you. See, listen. And it should, as long as we cut on the beats correctly, you shouldn't hear a difference. Boom. And like I said, all we're doing is just extending. So here we go, right here. You see, I was off a little bit, but you can tell, but you get the point. And that could end up being because I'm so far out. Here we go. Right on beat. Right on beat. You see that? Just right on beat. So that right there that's something that you have to do. We're not getting ready to do all of that right now because we're going to keep it simple, but I'm definitely going to do a video or add on to this live when I do the actual full version of the full edit, because I'm going to do another live and I'm going to just let you sit with me from beginning to end, or continuing from where we stop off here all the way to the end of the video. So right now, I've just undid all of those different things. We're only going to edit up to about this much. So right here, I've got this track, and I really only want to have two different angles of the video. When I say angles, I just want a wide shot and a close shot. So whenever I make the video change, it's only going to go from wide to close, wide to close, wide to close. Something's going to say wide, and when I feel like I want something to be emphasized, I'm going to let that be close. So here's a trick. Well, first I'm going to right click and click on where it says link clips to take the check mark out and unlink it. Let me see what it says. What is this you have over here? Type in yes. So now whenever I take this track, I can click on my option key and use my mouse to drag that video up. Okay, now the bottom video is at the regular width of the shot, which is just kind of a medium wide shot. Okay, now the top video, the one I'm going to cut to, I want that one to actually be my close-up. So I'm going to click on that video. Over here, I'm going to zoom in. All right, I'm going to zoom in some, and using my X, just zoom. When that link is lit up, that means it's going to be a uniform zoom. That means the whole thing is going to zoom. So I want to do like a 1.5 times zoom. So when you shoot in 4K, that allows you to be able to zoom in without losing any of your image quality. That's why in my what camera gear to buy, I say you at least need a 4K. But if you're shooting on a cell phone, guess what? You can shoot in 4K. So you see how I just saved you money right there, because you don't have to have, a prosumer camera. You can get, you can just have your cell phone, of course, iPhone rules, but that's another video. So watch this. I've just zoomed in at 1.5 times. Now I'm going to come over here just so I can be able to maintain some decent composition. I'm going to come over here. You see how my head is chopped off? I'm going to use my Y to just bring it down some. So now, whenever I get to a point in the song where I want to change the view, to keep the viewer engaged, I'm going to disable this. See, that's one shot, and then as it goes along, bam. So these are my only 2 shots that I'm going to do. Now, you can do more shots. You can do more shots. Like, let's say that I wanted to, just tell you what. I'm not going to say let's just say, because for the purpose of example, let's say we have multiple shots. Remember, we only have this one shot, but because we shot in 4K, we've got some room to move around. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this clip again. That's just one more, and we're going to do an even closer shot. So in this third one, we're at 1.5. I'm going to make this 1.75. Okay, let's go with 2.5. All right, even better. So now I don't really see why we really need to have that kind of emphasis for a instructional video, but I can also move that around and be able to, maybe if I just wanted to show the mic talking or something like that. But this is not a cinematic stylistic type video. It's just something we're getting ready to talk about, what gear will help you in your filmmaking process, or for the content creator who does their own content herself. All right, but we'll use these as our example. So we've got that shot, and this shot. So really it's like we had 3 cameras, because if you had an A, a B, and a C camera, one would be shooting wide, one would be shooting medium, others would be shooting close. We just digitally did that. So now, this is what we're going to do. Every time you see that clip gray out, all I'm doing is clicking on the clip and hitting the D on my keyboard to either disable it or enable it. All right. Now, because we already have our song, I'm going to go over here to my media pool, and I'm going to click on it so I can get a little more real estate on the screen. And then also I'm going to do the same thing with my effects. So now we have a little more room to play. Okay. Now, you're shooting a music video. This right here is a great example. Usually you'll have different, clips that you shoot, or different, we call them performances. And once you have that artist track, whether you have the stems or the full mix, then you can go in and start syncing up the audio. But we only use this one camera, so we only have one audio track. So now what I'm going to do is let me make this smaller. Remember how to make this smaller? Shift and use your middle mouse button to zoom in and out to get more room. So that'll allow me to bring this up so I can see more of my audio track. All right, 1 second. I'm gonna normalize the audio levels for this track real quick. I want to make sure that I'm not clipping on the top or the bottom. And then we're gonna go through, and we're gonna probably cut up maybe about a minute or so of the music, of the track. All I'm doing, I'm just normalizing the audio, and it's going to kind of hit a range of highs and a range of lows, so that way, and it's already kind of been set by an industry standard setting. So we'll do that, and you'll hear that the actual audio is has been. It'll feel like it's just increased from the native, and then I can do voice isolation. Let's kind of see which one. I think we actually did all right on it, so we'll go here. All right. Now I'm going to unmute my voice, and I'm going to turn the audio on this track down some. Okay, let's see what we got. If you're just starting out in the game of filmmaking, photography, and content creation, and you just happen to stumble on the best video that you probably ever see. Maybe not the best video, but this video is going to offer you a ton of added value. Now, what does that mean to me? What that means to me is that I'm going to share some of the experience that I've gotten here over the last few years. The first part of that is, okay. All right, so we got our mark points, so we know where just about we'll be cutting at. So let's do this. We're going to go to the beginning. Now, I'm getting ready to give you a secret that I did a video on, right? And about 10,000 people got a chance to see just how quick and efficient this particular technique of cutting is, especially when you have multiple tracks to cut. So I'm going to do this. I've just selected all of the video tracks. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to start right here. About right here. We'll say about right there. Okay, now, Command B. Bam. So now just cut them all in that one space. I'm going to come over here. We're not going to really have a big rhyme or reason for doing it. I'm just going to kind of do it so we can have some varying shots. Bam. The reason why I'm starting from the right and going backwards is because if I start from the left and do it, I'll have to always keep going back to select those clips. Now we're going to go, I'm just going to kind of keep doing this. It's real random, but I'm only going to cut on the beat. And the playhead is actually snapping to the marks. Okay. So you can see that should begin to open up kind of your eyes of how creative you can be. Command and B. If you're on the Windows, it's Control and B. Command and B. See, I'm cutting all these tracks right there. Command and B. Command and B. All right. Now, that's that. So I've just cut up enough. As a matter of fact, just to kind of keep this thing, but no, I'm not going to, I was going to go ahead and delete the rest of those, but what I will do is I'm going to disable those, because I don't want to go past that point, is the reason why. All right. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and disable all of that. Now, here we go. So we've got 3 different shots. We've got a close, we've got a mid, we've got a wide, and we'll start off just kind of random. We've got that wide. Oh, over here. Now, if you delete those, everything's going to shift down. So you can click on this to make sure that nothing automatically selects. Okay. That's what I want to make sure of. So now I'm going to delete those. And then I'm going to stair step it. All I'm doing is going from wide to mid to super close to mid to back down to wide. So you see, I'm just kind of creating like a little pattern. You see what I'm saying? I'm just kind of creating like a little pattern. And then that's it. So when you go back here, you'll be able to see kind of how it does. Starting out in the game of filmmaking, photography, and content creation, you just happen to stumble on the best video that you probably ever see. You see that? Maybe not the best video, but this video is going to offer you a ton of added value. Now, what does that mean to me? What that means to me is that I'm going to share some of the experience that I've gotten here over the last few years. The first part of that is, don't go out and buy a fancy brand new camera. It's just not going to serve you well right now. So that's how you can vary your shot, you know. And look, I did that with one camera. So begin to work on things like exposure, begin So, you know, I did that with just one camera. That lets you know, hey, if you got a cell phone, that bad boy shoots at 4K, you could literally have a result that has the same quality. Now, what will help you with your result is understanding composition, understanding exposure, and even some camera movement. But you could create a lot, and this program is free. Is there a learning curve? Yes. Are there a lot of built-in things that, you know, kind of the way CapCut or some of the other programs are? There are, but it always helps you to kind of learn the native way to do it, or you can just let it kind of do it on its own. They have quite a few built-in things, and I'll even show you a couple of those. But again, what I wanted to show you was how once you have marked off your music in the library, it'll stay with you no matter what. We can build several timelines, and then you can copy things from one timeline to another, to another, to another, to another. And so by doing it this way, you'll see that, I mean, this gives you an advantage. I'll go through here real quick. I know some people like those transitions and stuff. I'm more of a transition guy, that I like to create my own transitions. So what we'll do is I'll show you a real simple way how to do one. Just so you can kind of see. I'm going to delete these tracks underneath all of them, just number one for file size and things of that nature. And so let me see here. Just fine. I mean, these are, for me, just kind of at the point I'm at. I mean, I'm going to be like, hey, most of these are kind of cheesy, but we're going to do one. So all I did was I just dragged that over. That transition there, I just dragged it over, so that way it can be able to do like a little cross dissolve from one clip to the next. But I don't want that. I like the hard cuts. I'm pretty traditional when it comes to certain things. So I just did a Shift Z. That's why you see it all again. Now I'm going to go back, hold down the Option key and my middle mouse button, and then that's it. Now you can fine tune your edit as much as you want, because remember, you marked it all off. So in some of it, and we just randomly selected. So let's see if we can't do something a little bit more on beat and a little bit more with emotion. Let's see. If you're just starting out in the game of filmmaking, photography, and content creation, you just happen to stumble on the best video. See how that kind of doesn't really work? Okay, let's go here. If you're just starting out in the game of filmmaking, so I'm gonna say that probably you just hold on the end of that and pull it right there. That's where I want that actual next clip to come in at, and it will be on beat. That's better than just kind of happening randomly in the music. So if you're just starting out in the game of filmmaking, photography, and content creation, you just happen to stumble on it. Boom. And then I wanted to hit on that beat. All right. But I want that close up to hit on that beat. So now I'm gonna drag this to kind of just get rid of some of it. But you can see how you can begin to really manicure your edit. So now watch this. You can hit the P, letter P on your keyboard to go into full screen, okay? If you're just starting out in the game of filmmaking, photography, and content creation, you just happen to stumble on the best video that you probably ever see. Maybe not the best video, but this video is going to offer you a ton of added value. So when that bass dropped in, that would have been another place to be able to just make that cut. So let's see. If you just remember, our wide shot is on the bottom, our medium shot is in the middle, and our super tight is on the top. Okay, so you can be as creative as you want. You don't even have to choose those same angles, nor do you have to choose the same, structure and step that they're coming in. But this right here is how I begin every single edit. So I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up. Number one, because it just doesn't take a whole lot to start, and you can go ahead and grab some footage. Look, grab some footage from your phone, off your computer. Go download DaVinci Resolve. I got a link in the description. Go download DaVinci Resolve, the free version. Load it up on your computer and or even your iPad. Then open it up. Set up your folder structure. And once you set up your folder structure, get you some music, however you get it, but get you some music. I did put a link in there for Epidemic Sound, where I get a lot of my music. And then once you've done that, Go ahead and drag your track in there. Mark off your music. Throw a video clip on top of it. Start messing with it. You have access to so many things that can really make you say, I can do this to myself. I saw a cat the other day, just on Instagram, and he said he spent $150,000 of his money to put together a production, and then he went to take it to Netflix, and they told him they didn't think he had an audience for it. And so he ended up using his own editing software to go and cut his whole performance up into individual segments, and he just started putting them on Instagram in individual smaller segments. Got 4.5 million. And so he said, okay, to make sure it's not a fluke, I'm gonna try it on TikTok, and got even more. And so now, guess who back knocking on the door? But now that cat has gone into the whole mindset of, I don't have to wait for them. I've been on that mindset. And so now this right here is just going to help me take it to the next level. Look, check it out. If you're not subscribed, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. I am gonna wrap up this edit. When you do yours, and just try it out. When you do yours, shoot it to me on Instagram. Let me check it out, or send me a link where I can go and check it out. I love to see it. If you've got any questions or even any comments that you like to share with me, or you have something you want to ask of me, please drop it in the comments. I'll come back and check those out, and then we'll keep this thing going. But the next part that I'm going to do is, because right now we just got you started. We've shown you how to bring your footage in, how to bring your music in. We've shown you how to do cuts. We've also shown you some of the basic things of how to use this software. And there's a lot. This is the same software they use to make full motion pictures. And for my music aficionados, down here on the bottom, you can't see it because the live screen is cutting it off, but there's an audio editing software they call Fairlight. I just clicked on Fairlight, right? This has all the bells and whistles of a professional level mixing and mastering program. And it's all built in right here for free. So not only can you record your sessions, but hey, look, you see these effects? And they just kind of keep tearing off. All of those different things that you would need in order to be able to fully mix and master even your own music in here, but with some other items. And this is not even scratching the surface of its own capabilities, but you've got all your tracks, you've got your full spectrum analyzers, you've got a ton of already established built plugins right here. It's called Fairlight. Google it. But if you get the DaVinci Resolve software for free, you got it right there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to shut this down. Oh, here's your color tab right here, for all our color grade folks who want to go in, let's say you were outside when you shot your video on your cell phone, you're like, man, everything is white and bright, too much on there. This right here, these are the controls that you can use. Just got to go in the color tab. Like, again, get the software, you'll be able to see that menu on the bottom, but this right here is a color tab. This is where the color grading magic happens right here. So, and we work in nodes in DaVinci. Every node does something, so it's almost like working in layers. Everything you want to happen on one layer, just kind of put over the top, like in Photoshop or something like that. It's addictive. This is Fusion. Fusion is DaVinci Resolve's answer and response to After Effects. This is what a lot of movies that you watch today do. You can do anything you want. If you want flying, spinning, disappearing text that explodes into fire and turns into snow, this is where it happens at, right here. That's where it happens at. So, yeah. And then as far as exporting, you can export out however you need. Here's all the exporting right here, including being able to export to different file formats, different social media programs, all of that good stuff. I mean, it's right there. If you just want to grab just the audio without the video, you can export to it. I mean, it's right there. I mean, this is it. This right here is it. So check it out, guys. Again, If you want to be able to go to part 2 of this editing session, where I'm going to go from where we are now all the way through to the end, I'm going to add in my B-roll clips. I'm going to, cause there's a lot of things I talk about in this video where that, we just say, hey, these are the things you really need before you even need a camera to really get in this game. Being able to edit is one of those things, but also things like stands, diffusion screens, black flags, black material, clamps, things like that. So we're going to talk about those things and how they're used for beginners. I mean, if I would have had a video like this or a resource with the video that I'm getting ready to edit in full, back when I first started, it would have cut my learning curve down by at least 75%. Because there are still things that right now I'm having to fill in the gaps in my own learning. And I happen to think I'm pretty doggone good in what I do. So, but guys, if you want to be notified when this next video is coming out, which will be probably here in the next day or two, hit that notification bell after you follow and subscribe. And then I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for checking out my live. It's my first official live. I've watched a couple of my friends do lives, and I was always just like, man, it takes guts to get up there and go live, because there's no cards, there's no teleprompter, there's no script. You just gotta flat out go. But I think if you're passionate enough about it, it'll come out. And they'll be able to see it. And if you're offering value, that's what it's about. So hit me up, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the live. We did have one hiccup with the audio for probably, I guess, about a minute when I started marking off the beats. But that was because I didn't have the volume on the DaVinci program turned up loud enough. But yeah, we got that now. So I want to thank my little assistant. Thank you. And we getting ready to be out.
Pray for my competition. They tryna throw they hate but missing. I swear this here is God-given. I've been in positions they've been skipping. Boot off stages before they listen. Never dropped, I couldn't even spit a lyric. So I went back to physics and erased the unwritten. Holy water, don't even bother. I live by footprints of forefathers, paying homage to the fallen. Building my image by dreams and ambitions. My inhibitions are expositions that's poorly written. Treat them like ammunition when they attack my traditions. I'm